What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Author's Corner. Today, I have a special guest, my friend. I call her Booney, but we might be being professional. Inita. I ain't never even said your real name.
Right.
Inita Inc. writes. Callaway is their last name?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the show. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am Ink Rights or Ink. I like to be called Ink. That stands for I Need Nicole Callaway. It works. And I am, first of all, I'm a child of God. Most importantly, I am a mother. I am a creative. I am a storyteller. I'm a ghostwriter. I'm an author. I'm an encourager. Um, those are all things about me.
All around dope.
I'll, and I'll let you say that. I won't say that. I'm all right. I'm all
all
right.
all around dope. Nope, you are. Just the world just don't know yet, and they're getting in the know. You're starting to shine, and you're moving up. But let's not go too far. So, first of all, where are you from? Tell us about a little bit about your upbringing. Where you from?
I am from Chicago, Illinois. I am from the West Side, not the surrounding suburbs, from the West Side. I lived on Leamington and Augusta,
Wow.
West Side. Yes, West Side. I grew up on the West Side, so that's the Austin community. Um, and then, when I ventured out on my own, I still stayed on the West Side. And then I got married. We still stayed on the West Side, right? And when I left Chicago 2 years ago, I ended up in Bronzeville. I
Yeah,
don't know. That was the South Side.
yeah,
But yeah, that's me.
dope.
Great, great upbringing. I came from a single parent home. Well, first I had two parents, and then there was one, right? We know how that goes.
100%.
But I saw a lot that I didn't need to see. Family was into a lot of stuff, but here we are. Here we are. All that stuff just helped me become the person that I am today, and I'm grateful for it all. I wouldn't take it back. Now, a lot of scary moments, a lot of scary moments, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here.
100%. So, where did that love for writing come from, and when did it start? At what age do you remember it starting?
So I get asked this question a lot. So initially, I always excelled in English class, writing classes, creative arts classes and such. And I always had an affinity for words. I love to watch great TV, great writing. So that was early, 9, 10 years old. But I didn't really start writing, until maybe I was a teenager. I would write a little bit, but not too much. But what really started me writing seriously was Pain in 2018. August 2018, I will never forget it. It was Pain. Everything started just building, and I felt like I was up against a wall, right? My
Mhm.
problems were about 100 feet tall, and I'm about 5'10". So I was looking at them like feeling undefeated. So on the heels of a divorce, and then dealing with trauma, not understanding what was even happening with me, not knowing where I not being where I wanted to be in life, and felt like everybody was ahead of me. And although I was happy for the people that was around me, but I just felt like I was, in the background. I'm like, what's happening, God? And so that's literally what started me to writing the pain. I was in so much pain. And the quote that came out of that pain was, I'm boxed in, so I'm writing my way out. With each swipe of my pen, I finally see an escape route. So I literally started writing to free myself from that pain. And that's how I ended up to where I am today. Literally, pain pushed me to purpose. Like you
Wow.
always talk about. I'm a living proof of that.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the thing that you started writing? What did you write? Did you write a blog, a paper, a book? What was it that you
So
wrote?
I started a blog that day that I was kind of breaking down. So it started that Saturday night when I started just breaking down emotionally, and I was just a mess. My brother came over the next day, prayed for me. Like he tore the walls down. He was like, "Why don't you start a blog?" He's always been a good writer, and that's exactly what I did that night. It was like the latter part of August in 2018, and I started a blog. And I can't remember what the first blog was about, but it was emotions for sure. It was emotions. And I just started from there. I just kept telling stories about my life. I called it the B logs. So they were logs of my brain. Literally, that's what, and it worked. B logs, blog. I'm like, oh, this dope. It worked. So it was like literally the logs of my brain. And I just started writing the pain and the things that I had went through. And then people started resonating with them. And I'm like, hmm. I might have something here. They just kept, you should keep doing it. And so I just kept doing it, ended up turning into a book, short stories, right? In 2018. That was a fast turnaround, but God is good. And that's how I met you.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about how you met me. Tell us about that.
Wow. So I met you through Robin Cole,
Mhm.
which was your mom, my girl. That was my girl. We worked together at the church, and she would always talk to me about you and what you did. And she knew that I liked to write, and she would read my stuff all the time. She was very supportive, always was, and would read my stuff. She was like, "Girl, I'm gonna hook you up with Kelly." You know how she used to talk. And then I met Candace, your sister, who
Yep.
was editor. And then she started editing for me. And then she said, one Sunday, I just got blessed with publishing. I had no idea. You all had blessed me with publishing. And the next thing I know, we had a meeting. I think we went to Fridays. You came into Chicago. We went to Fridays. We talked, and you asked me, what was I looking for? And it's just been a relationship since then. So that was 2018. Here we are, 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I told you then, like you was a lifesaver. I was at a point where I was getting ready to quit the business. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just too much. Um, but like you said, it's been amazing. I hate to be revealing people my secret weapon. Now they gonna know my secret weapon.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Dennis Haley. I am the author of the playbook, The Art of Dreaming. Just want to say a special thank you to Kelly Cole and the Publishing Advantage Group team. Man, they were with me from day one until the time I finished, and still with me to this day. What a blessing to have them be with me and to walk me through this journey and to be a part of this journey. They have been nothing but class acts, and they know what they're talking about. And just again, it is a blessing to be a part of this team and for them to guide me down the path to success. So thank you for everything that you have done. I look forward to many more projects with you guys and continue to be a blessing to many. Thank you.
Be in the background. But no, so you've helped me with a lot of projects. Talk about some of the projects you've written and the people you've written for.
So the very first project I remember. First of all, let me just talk about how I started ghostwriting, right? Because
Okay.
I never even considered ghostwriting. I always thought about rap music, right? When you say ghostwriting. And so you called me after I submitted my manuscript. I'm thinking something wrong with it, right? And you just like, no, no, that's all good. But I need a favor from you. And I'm like, okay, what is it? I'm riding down Lake Laramie in Chicago. I would never forget it. And you was just like, I need you to ghostwrite. I'm like, what? This is what I'm thinking. I'm having a conversation with myself while you're talking to me. You just like, I need you to write this book. I hired somebody else to do it. They didn't deliver. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm saying, God, what is he talking about? I don't know how to do this. I barely got mine done. He want me to write a whole book for somebody else. What? And so you said, I said, okay. And the Holy Spirit said, just do it. Just do it. And I'm like, okay. And then you said, and I said, okay, well, when do you need it? You was like, yesterday. I said, yesterday. I said, all right, now you tripping now. I'm just, so literally I was thrown feet first into something I had never done. Now that I think about it, I've never thought about it like that. I was literally thrown
Yeah.
like feet first, just thrown in there. And I took it, and you sent me like 15 hours of you just interviewing somebody, and I had to sit through, listen to it, and I came up with a story. Well, we did it in 10 days. Well, I did it in 10 days. I did it in 10 days.
Mhm.
And I got a chance to actually talk to him, and we had great conversations. Him and I, he was the rapper from here in Atlanta.
Yep.
I think Jake Torah, I believe it
Day
was Jake
tour. Yep.
Torah. He was great to work with, and he really liked his story. His story was amazing, and that's when I didn't even realize at that moment that that was what I was born to do. I
Yeah.
was born to help other people tell their stories. Now, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter your writing ability, right? Some people just don't have the time to do it, and
Yeah.
that's where I come in to do the work for you. And I've been able to foster some great relationships going forward. Now, after that, I still keep in touch with a lot of those people, just, check in every once in a while, just let them know I appreciate them and I see what they're doing. So I've worked with Dennis Haley, He's a former NFL player. We had a great time, him and his wife, and I got a chance to know his family. So that was a great time. He had a great story. His mom was an editor, so I got a chance to work with her. So I got a chance to meet some great people. Monty Sanders, he's a fitness coach and fitness trainer. He has his own business, and man, and he's somebody that I always keep in contact with. And because of him, he was a trainer for the NFL. So he was a trainer for Ray Lewis. So I got a chance to talk to Ray Lewis. I got a chance to work with Ed Reed. They were contributors to his book. And that was a great experience to be able to talk to them. And what I found out is just like people, that are these big celebrities, they are just like you. They just have the spotlight. And when you don't, and when I talked to them, both of them were, down to earth and cool people. So, even Mike Vick. I talked to Mike Vick before too. I worked with him as well. So that was fun. Just talking to the guys. First, I was nervous, but like I said, after I figured, I'm like, oh, they just like me, right? But why am I afraid? So again, like I said, and then I work with people who are not celebrity, right? I work with people who are a D1 coach. He's great. Zon Burton. I work with him. We still keep in contact. He's over at Duke University. We still keep in contact. And then even lady that I work with in Chicago, she was in the military. She had a really great story. She's in healthcare. She's like a CEO somewhere, but it was just, I've just created these great relationships along the way. And like I said, I still reach out to these people. So I am grateful for all of these different people that I get to talk to and build relationships with and tell their stories. And I treat their story just like I would treat my story, because I am it becomes a part of me and is near and dear to my heart. So
100%.
I love it.
That started with that one phone call. You're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, I didn't say those specific words, but for the sake of the show, yes.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, and that's how it works. How I got started in the publisher or even writing books. I was just taking notes off of Shark Tank. And one of my friends was like, yo, you should write a book and interview the sharks. And here I am 15 years later. And man, it just starts with a call like that. So, but good stuff, B. So out of the ones you've written for other people, which one has been your favorite?
Probably, man, it's so hard to choose.
Right.
I like them all, right? Yeah, I love them all. Right. But probably Monty Sanders, his book. I can't even think of the name of it right now. I'm sorry, Monty.
You versus you.
Yeah, you versus you. We work. That was definitely you versus you. But I learned so much in my personal life working with him. He taught me so much, and he don't even realize how much he added to me in that time. We worked together for about 6 or 7 months, right? Dead in the middle of the pandemic. So we spent a lot of time, over Zoom and just talking about God, talking about life, talking about fitness and your mind and just the idea of you versus you. So he changed me in a lot of ways. I still, to this day, go back and listen to our interviews because they resonated with me so much, changed the way I think so much.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
indebted to him that way. That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, that Monty's book was very powerful. I haven't read it all yet, but just a little bit I read, and then just getting to know him as a person, amazing. Hopefully, everybody can meet.
Yes. I would love to meet him in person.
Hopefully, he can make it to the gala. But good stuff. So, fast forward. Now you have this new book. Tell us about the new book you just released.
Okay, and I have it right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
So it is called At Last Ivy. And it is, it's a novel. I always wanted to write a novel.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first book was short stories of my blog that I compiled into a book. But this is a novel. This is a fiction story that I started working on in 2021, September 2021. My life had changed dramatically. I had started therapy. I was in therapy for like 9 months, and that changed my life totally. I am an advocate for therapy and will be for the rest of my life. Everybody that I meet, like, did you go to therapy? Did you talk about it with somebody? Because, it changed my life. So, and I want people to feel the same way, especially women, because I like to talk to women all the time, and I text women and I send them notes and just to encourage them, and I always ask them about therapy. So this book came from a time when I was healed. And so this book is about this woman. She's 39 years old. She thinks that her life is over with because she's about to be 40 and she's not where she wanted to be in her career. She's on the heels of a divorce and she's just like cemented in anguish and pain, right? Because she needs to go to therapy. And so she finally decides, like, this is the backtrack of COVID. She finally decides, like, man, I have to go to therapy because she spent her nights on the floor in the bathroom crying and not even knowing why, right? She don't even know why. And then the only thing that really saves her and is that driving force for her to actually go to therapy is because of her children. She didn't want her children to be a repeat of her because that's what we live in, cycles, right? So she was really gung-ho about not letting her children have the same fate, but she struggled with it though. She's like, man, forget this. At one point, my children's gonna have to understand. I can't do it. The next generation is gonna have to do it. That's kind of how she started thinking because it's hard, right? When you want to do that. But then she finally goes to therapy. She finally goes to therapy. So throughout the book, she's in therapy. She's having these different sessions. So I put that in there purposely because I wanted the readers to actually kind of see what a therapy session could look like if they've never been and how they can be changed. Like you don't even realize these people are so trained, especially if you get to a right one. They're so well trained. They can bring stuff out of you that you didn't even know was there, right? Stuff that you forgot about, right? And she talked about that, and that was hard. And then she had all this other drama coming into her life because it's always drama with her ex-husband, and then with some neighbors, and then some friends. And then she finally gets to a place where she's like, you know what? I'm going to choose me. When she starts to choose herself, therapy starts to work for her, right? When she starts to, and then listen to what the therapist was actually telling her to do, right? And then she finds love. Then she finds love. She finds love. Then, but when she finds love, it still wasn't easy. You know, still not peaches and cream because she's still in therapy. She's still working on herself. She still has these doubts. She still has this trauma. She still has these triggers. She don't know why she does the things she does. But the guy that she meets, he's very patient with her because he's already did the heart. I call it heart work. He's already did the hard work. He's already went to therapy. He's already being introspective and applying his faith to help him get through it. That's what hard work is for me. So he's already did this. So he's being patient with her and he's working with her. And at first she didn't see it. She was doing the self-sabotage thing a lot.
Can we pause right there? Can we talk about that in real life?
Yes.
Break that down in real life. Because I mean, you've known me on this journey to getting back in alignment with God. But talk about people who sabotage because of their trauma, because of the things that's happened in the past, and they can't receive love.
Hi, I'm Monty Sanders, first-time author. My book, The Power of You versus You, Aligning Your Mind, Body, and Spirit to Discover and Fulfill Your Purpose. I wouldn't have been able to get this done without the Publishing Advantage Group. Those guys have been tremendous throughout the entire process. I would like to thank Kelly, who really allowed me to text him and my family to text him throughout this whole process, sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning. Brother, I appreciate you. Anitra, I wouldn't have been able to do this without you as well. I know you were helping me out, but my God, it's like we became family along the way. And my man, Keon, thank you for answering every last one of our emails. As you know, being a first-time author, we had a lot of questions. So I'd like to thank you guys, and I wish you much success. Who knew Amazon's bestseller list? First time. The Power of You versus You. Take care.
Oh man, I've experienced it personally. So and other people that I've known, right, experienced it. So I was able to put all those elements in the book. But when first of all, you don't love yourself and you have all this trauma. And then when something different comes that you don't understand, you get scared, you retreat. So the best thing for you to do is to do something, to say something that's going to push that person away. And now you've just self-sabotaged. And then you sitting playing victim, like, why they leave me? Blah, blah, blah. Men ain't nothing, women ain't nothing, right? And a lot of times, if we sit and be introspective, and be self-aware, you can figure out, oh, well, maybe I did this. Well, maybe I did that because I'm not used to it. I don't know how to feel in this moment. I don't know what that feels like. Is this love? This ain't love. If somebody not smacking me over the head or calling me out my name, I don't know what it is, right? So, yeah, that's self-sabotage. So don't do it.
Don't do it. I've heard women say if he's too calm, It's
Yeah.
to be peaceful.
Yes.
And don't you know that's the way it's supposed to
That's
be?
the way it's supposed to be.
He's not supposed to raise his voice at you. He's supposed to be able to
Absolutely.
communicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's women who feel like if he's not yelling, he don't
Yes.
care about me.
Right. And that's wild to me. Like, what? Yeah, but I was once that person. I thought that was what we supposed to do. We supposed to go back and argue, and we supposed to get back together, we'll have sex or whatever, and then it's all good.
Right.
And next week we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's dysfunction at its finest.
100%. And for a man, speaking from a man who's done the hard work,
Mm-hmm.
we out of there. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing
Absolutely.
with a person who I can't communicate with. If
Yep.
you like toxic, I've been in relationships where women would push me. They want to see the lion roar. And I'm like, yo, that exerts too much energy and disturbs my peace. I'm gonna leave you be.
That's right. I know that's right.
I'm gonna leave you be. And there's people who are blocked, who have to, I just have to block them because you're too toxic for your own good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
self-sabotage.
But once you start to realize that, you'll become better. It's scary at first,
100%.
but get some help. When you get you a bomb, the therapist that you even recommended me, I love her.
Yeah, yeah. She's
I
been with
do.
me for man. How
Do you
many
still talk to her? Are you still with her?
monthly? Yeah, yeah.
I said I gotta get back with her because listen, I have a therapist. I'm in therapy. I like my therapist, but it's just something about this lady here. It is something about her, and she's anointed at what she
Yep.
does. Like that
Yep.
was the best 7 to 8 months of my life
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
her.
She was the one for me too. And I met her how we met. I had just been praying for a therapist. I was like, Lord, just send me a therapist. I want somebody who's spiritual, but not so spiritual that they're no earthly good. And
Sure.
that's who she is. And her son set up a table next to my son at an event. And we just
Mhm.
started talking. And she was like, what do you do? And I was like, I told her what I did. And I was like, okay, what do you do? And she said, I'm a therapist. And I was like, Lord, thank you.
Wow.
Set up a meeting and we've been friends and she's been my therapist ever since.
Yeah, I've actually sent people to her too that still work with her,
Yeah,
like for a
she's
couple years. Like she is amazing.
yeah.
I don't know if I said, but I won't say her name, but she is
I'm gonna
amazing.
say her. Can I say her
Okay.
name?
Yeah,
You
you go
okay?
ahead.
Okay, because you said you went to it. Because I always shout her out. Reese Barnett out of
Yes.
Gastonia, North Carolina. Look her up, and if you want
Look,
the information, hit me up. I'll refer her. But she is amazing.
she is well worth the money. It's amazing.
Yep, yep.
Amazing.
Shifting a little bit, staying on that same vein though. Have you dealt with people? Because I have, who sabotage their books? Dealt
Mm.
with people like get to the end and then they get nervous and they like all shaky. I've dealt with people who, hey, it's time to push the button and release the book and they get scared. Have you dealt with that in any way?
No, I can't say I have, but I can say I've had people to reschedule a lot. So that could be like a self-sabotage thing too. Especially, one time, maybe two. But if I've had people in the past that have rescheduled quite a bit. And now that I think about it, it probably was because they were afraid.
Yep.
They were afraid. But I have had people like in interviews I like to interview, but what I like to do is my first interview, I like to just to get to know the person. So we spend some time getting to know each other and I do like games, but they were just like, won't talk, like literally won't say anything. I'm asking questions and they give me like one word answers and nod. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I feel like that's probably a self-sabotage too,
Yep.
especially when we start talking about the stuff of the heart. Like, I'm like, this is what you told me you wanted to talk about, and now you don't want to talk about it. So I'm like, wow. Yeah. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
had them do that. Yeah.
definitely. It opens up, as you said, like writing is so therapeutic and like digging deeper and telling your stories, that takes a lot. But a
It
lot of
does.
people say once they come out on the other end, they're so much better.
Mhm.
They are so much better. Okay.
Absolutely.
At last, Ivy, right? That's it. All
Yes.
right. So you not only got the book, tell us about the workbook that you
Yes.
too.
I don't know. I have a workbook too.
Yeah.
I don't have my other books yet, but
Okay.
it's called At Last Your Name Here. And that's where the hard work begins is the workbook. And I said, at last, your name here, because whoever, does this, you put yourself there, right? Because, the book was Ivy, but you put your name here. And first of all, it's just about looking at the character deeper. You go deep, do a deeper dive, and all the things that she went through, you just do a deeper dive. I have different activities in the book, but then it gets to the things about yourself, and you start comparing yourself to her journey or some of the things that she's experienced in the book. And I also tell you, disclaimer, listen now, you will be careful with this book, because I don't want you to open up in a way that you can't get closed. I know that was one thing Reese always told me. You can't let people open you up in a way emotionally and they don't know how to close you up. It could be dangerous for you, because that stuff is dangerous. It really is mentally. It really is. And it's really hard. So I said, get a therapist. I encourage you to get a therapist, because you could take these answers to your therapist and be like, look, I didn't even realize this was going on. But when I really started being introspective and looking deeper and sitting with myself, these are things that I came up with. And I'm like, what in the world? But it's fun stuff. And you won't even realize it until you start looking at it. You might be crying. Like, why am I crying doing this? If you really do it. So I really took my time with this. It took me a while. I wasn't going to do a workbook. I didn't think about doing it. I'm like, okay, God, this book got to sell a lot, right? Mama need a new pair of shoes, right? I said, so this has to sell a lot. And the Holy Spirit put it on me heavy. Do a workbook. I was like, what? A workbook. I'm not a therapist, but I'm not a therapist and I don't claim to be, but I love therapy and I'm a big advocate for it. So I just started doing a lot of research and looking at the character and all of that. And I came up with some questions and some activities. It's fun. I didn't just want a whole bunch of lines. I wanted it to be fun. I know growing up, going to school and getting a workbook, you was excited to get your workbook. Well, at least I was excited to get your workbook growing up. I was like, oh, I want it to be like that. So I even have an illustrator came and did some sketches for me, did a lot of things for me. So her name is Jasmine Lewis. She's a illustrator. She's awesome. And yeah, it's fun. Once you get into this, it is fun. But again, you may look down, you like, whoa, I messed up. Because when you think about it, right? You're thinking about it. But when you write it down and you read it, I didn't even know that was there. It's totally different ball game. So I want people, men too. I don't want people to think it's just for men. I mean, for women. I mean, it's about a woman, it's men characters, but you can benefit too. Everybody that wants to do the hard work can benefit from reading the book and getting the workbook. So if you get the workbook and you don't have the book, it's not going to make sense to you, right? So you need to, have read the book to get the workbook. Inside the workbook, I do comparing the relationships that she has in the book, and then compare the relationships that you have. You know what I'm saying? Think about all the different relationships, all the people in your life, all of that stuff matters. All of that matters, and we don't even realize it. We really don't. So, and you only go as far as your team, right? So depending on who you got is where you're going.
100%. So here's a question I'm gonna ask you on air. So this is recorded, this is going out. When is the workshop gonna happen?
I knew you was gonna do that. Actually, you put that on me a couple weeks ago. So I did have a meeting with somebody about using their space. I actually had a meeting on Monday, and I was so excited. I was all in the moment, and I made the meeting with her after I talked to you. I was like, after I got off, after we got off, I hit her up like, hey, I want to, talk to you about using your space. And then she said, okay, cool. So we had it on Monday. When we got there, I didn't even have nothing. I'm like, okay. Because I was like on a high with everything that just happened.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I know I want to do a workbook, and a workshop. I know what I've done in the past, right? And I said, I want to do something. I was kind of telling her what I did around healing, around writing and stuff. And she said, okay, we can do it. So I have to now go back to it, but we're going to do it before the summer. Definitely before the summer, it's going to happen. And you know what she said? She said, oh, you need to do a retreat after this.
Did you tell her I said the same thing?
Yes. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. She said the same thing. You can get you one of these cabins. You can do this. You can do that. I was like, oh my God, Kelly said the same thing.
Same thing.
But in this season, I'm learning to be obedient. So I'm gonna make it happen.
Good.
If God wanted to make it, God wants it to happen because He keeps telling me through people. So He'll send what I need. But I am going to do it. I'm going to do it.
That's good. Yep. All right, good stuff, B. We've covered a lot. We're wrapping up. Anything that you want to share with the people before we get out of here?
One thing that I'm very big on words. Obviously, I sell words, right? And I write them. But anybody that knows me, I'm always saying your words are powerful. Make sure you're using them wisely. They're so powerful because the words that you speak is what you will experience. Now, you may not believe it, but it is very true. I don't care what God you pray to. Whatever words you're putting out in that atmosphere, they're making their way back to you, right? So make sure you are using your words wisely. So what I like to say, another quote, I got all type of quotes. What I like to say is your words are expensive. Use them wisely. So what can you afford to say? Can you afford to start talking negative about yourself? No, you can't, because that's a big check that you do not want to cash. You can't. So always speak life. Always speak with passion. Always speak with grace. And be kind to one another, and go to therapy. And go to therapy. And go
Love,
to therapy.
love it. So where can people get the book? Where can they get more information about you and follow you and all of those good things?
Okay, so of course the book is available on Amazon, and then my website, inkrights.com. You can find everything you need to about me there. You can send me a message, and we can link up. I love to hear from you, just to talk to you, especially women. I love to hear from women, So
Is your event going to be for only women?
no, it's going to be for whoever wants to go.
Do the hard work. All right.
There you go. There you go.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for doing this, B. I really appreciate it. Let's keep rocking. We got more projects to do.
Absolutely.
I'm sending you like 10 this week. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at the gala.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking
All right,
forward.
B, you have a great day. I'm gonna get
You
back to
too.
work.
All right. Bye-bye.